The novelist JODI PICOULT is known for turning tough topics into bestsellers, and her latest book is no exception.
No, it's called Lone Wolf, and in it, a brother and sister must decide whether or not to end their father's life after a car accident leaves him in a permanent vegetative state. The book's also about wolves, though, and Jodie's here to explain. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, the opening quote of the book is from The Blind Assassin, the novel, which says, and I'm quoting roughly, all stories are about wolves, which I had never realised before.
You learn something new every day. Well, it's about that pack mentality, and it's the idea that a pack is really nothing more than a family, a very tight-knit family that always has each other's back. And that was the metaphor that I was trying to work with when I began to incorporate a lot of wolf research into the book. The main character, who you described, is a father who, on page 1, is injured in a car accident and winds up in a vegetative state. But he spent his whole life researching wolves from within by living in the wild with a pack. And as it turns out, there's someone in England who has done just that.
Yeah, I mean, the story then is this issue about how you deal with somebody who is in this state. Do you hope that they will continue on all the medication and medical equipment?
Right.
Or if they've lived this life of freedom, do you release them?
The book comes down to a decision between two siblings. Luke Warren is the man who is in the vegetative state, and it's up to his two children, Edward and Kara, to decide what to do. Edward is a prodigal son who's been living in Thailand for the past 6 years after a big fight with his father. His sister Kara, who's 17, holds him responsible for breaking apart their parents' marriage. And although she wants to wait for a miracle, he wants to turn off life support and donate his father's organs. But is he motivated by altruism or by revenge?
And in wolf society, there are two different ways that wolves deal with themselves when one of them is injured, isn't there?
And it really depends on the rank of the wolf and how important they are to the particular pack. They might wind up just very quietly slinking away and letting themselves quietly die because they know it will keep the pack from being dragged down. Or if it's a very important wolf, like an alpha, for example, they may actually wind up, being nursed back to health by the pack.
In the pictures, I was just seeing Sean Lewis with the wolves, and he's
Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis, beg your pardon, and he's the man who taught you all about wolves.
He is. I thought I had created a pretty unique character. Then I found out, of course, that this guy had done exactly what my character was going to do. So I came over to Devon, where he works at the Wolf Centre UK, and he taught me everything that I needed to know about wolves.
We've spoken actually to Sean.
He's amazing.
On BBC Breakfast, and he's an extraordinary man because he does exactly as you say. I mean, he lives with them as them.
Right. And he actually lived in the Rockies in the United States with a wild pack, which is what my character winds up doing in the eastern side of Canada. The experiences that Sean had were remarkable, from really learning from within, watching an alpha tell everyone in the pack to suck on an icicle without realizing why, and then coming to understand that was, in the cold, the one thing that was giving away their position when they were waiting to attack prey. Their breath was in the cold, and by sucking on an icicle, they could get rid of that. So, you start to see the intelligence of these animals and how far ahead they're thinking, which I don't think we often consider when we think about animals.
Yeah, you really tackle the big issues, don't you? In previous books, bullying, teen suicide, bone marrow donation, kidnap, witchcraft, eugenics, gay rights, brittle bone disease, autism, murder in the Amish community.
That's a big one, yeah.
And others. But you do, apart from perhaps the latter one, you like to deal with big social issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I think about Lone Wolf, I think about a book that sits at the crossroads of medical science and morality. If we have the ability to extend someone's life artificially, should we also have the ability to end someone's life artificially? And does it make sense to hasten someone's death if they're going to be donating organs that save other people's lives?
So you think about, this is an issue that I want to tackle. Now, what is the best way of tackling this issue by telling a brilliant story around it?
Yeah, it's usually an issue that's keeping me up at night, that's making me worry. And if I keep thinking about it, characters just arrive in my head and begin to take a story away from me.
Because you've also said that you've got to get the first sentence perfect.
Yes, right.
And then after that, it all just tumbles out.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the first sentence doesn't mention a wolf, it mentions a tiger.
Yeah,
which is an interesting story.
But it's a great first sentence.
Yeah, that is. Is it really just as simple as that? You chisel out that first sentence
Yeah.
and then just all flows?
The first sentence in Lone Wolf is, in retrospect, I shouldn't have freed the tiger. Wouldn't you want to keep reading? I would. So, you know, that's what you're looking for.
Now, Bill has promised us that you are going to teach us how to howl
going to teach
like
you how to howl.
wolves.
Yes.
So what you need to know is that there are 3 different types of howls. There is a rallying howl, which is that really typical mournful Hollywood howl that sounds like someone's grieving. It's not grief. It's actually a vocal beacon to help a missing pack member find its way back to you. There is a locator howl, which is what we're going to do today, which is like wolf email. This is where my pack is. How big are you? Okay, you can stay where you are, or you have to get away, in which case you switch to a defensive howl. But a locator howl is going to have different roles, different melodies for everyone in the pack. Okay. So I'm going to be the alpha, you're going to be the beta, and you're going to be the numbers wolf. Okay?
Numbers, okay.
Right. An alpha is the one calling all the shots. That's why I'm the alpha. Okay. And so an alpha howl goes something like this. Woo! And then you stop and listen to see if anyone's howling back, and then you howl again. Woo! It's like that 2-tone thing. Now the beta howl, your beta is your enforcer, your thug, the one who is protecting the alpha and everyone else.
Yeah,
that's you, right?
That's good.
So your howl sounds just like that, but it's about 4 times longer. So I'm going to do it first,
All right.
and then you're going to copy me. Okay, ready? Get ready.
Okay.
Now you do it.
Ooh.
You're gonna
Ran out of breath.
But
Yeah.
take a deeper breath next
All right.
time, because we're going to do it all together after
Okay,
I finish
okay.
teaching. Are you ready for this
Yeah,
one, Susanna?
yeah. I'm not-
You're the
no,
numbers wolf.
I'm not.
Now, the numbers wolf,
Yeah.
the job of the numbers wolf is to make the pack look really big, even
Yeah.
when it's not.
Okay.
So you're one wolf, but you've got to sound like 40.
Okay.
So you're going to have a cycle of yips and yowls, kind of like a crazy howling dog. That's what you're going for.
That's
something
That's
like
good.
something to
That
be
is
described
you.
as, isn't it? Yeah.
You're going to sound like this.
This
That's
is a
good.
YouTube clip in the making.
It is, isn't it?
Okay,
Do I
good.
sound like
That's good.
40?
Good. Now,
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the howl, and when I point to you, you're going to give your howl, and the 3 of us together are going
All
to
right.
blend together and all sound like a pack.
20
Gotta
years
man
in
up a bit
journalism
now.
has
Ready?
led us to
This
this,
is it.
Bill.
So, and I'm going to howl first, and
Okay.
you're going to hear me go twice because I have to stop and listen as the
Okay.
alpha.
Woo!
That wasn't that good? Did
All
we
right.
sound like a pack? I'm
Yeah.
telling you, all the wolves in London are sitting right
Yeah,
outside
I'll
the
tell you,
studio
every
right
dog
now.
in Britain is sitting up watching the telly right now.
Probably.
We are
Fascinating
never going to live that down.
You did very, very well.
Yeah.
Jodie, it's fantastic to talk to you.
Thank you
and
so
that was
much.
a unique
So,
experience.
just quickly, when I go back and meet my Labradors this morning, which one should I give them of those?
Well, it depends, because you actually can look at a dog and sort of figure out whether it has alpha, beta,
yeah.
diffuser tendencies. But if you do any of those, I'm sure he would look at you and
Yeah.
at least tilt his head.
All right, thank you, Jodie.
Sure, thank you so much.
Jodie's book, Lone Wolf, is out. Now, you should have a CD in there, actually, doing with the...
Well, I did that last year, but the
Techniques.
singing on it was a little more professional than that.
Carol, you should
Yeah,
have been here.
your turn, I think.